know you have something cool when all three people all go, ooh. Vikings on the History Channel had a lot of browns, greens, and grays.
Vikings was sex, violence, and crows.
Vikings was a great reminder that I'm really thankful to live in the 21st century.
Vikings are way too into blood pudding.
Yeah.
Gross.
I had a friend that, well, we could talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Fallingtower's Watch the First podcast, the podcast in which we watch the first episode of a series so that you don't have to. If you want us to review any kind of series or show, just put WTF Smurfs, that stands for Watch the First, and we'll review it, or WTF Wings, or WTF Taxi, whatever.
Taxi.
With us, as always, the original first, don't let others fool you, first Viking ever, Michael Kenyon Rosenberg.
I don't think Rosenberg is really a Viking name, but
First Viking ever.
Rosenbergson.
We're also joined by superstar actress and everybody's favorite Smiley Delight, even though she has a scary looking cross on her forehead. I think it's cosplay. Kelly Park.
Who? Oh, wait. Well, that was the last. I mean, hi.
We're also bringing a little class today. Subrina Wood of the Syfy Sistas joins us, and she's going to teach us a few things. Pressure's on. Sabrina Wood.
Yeah, boy, I don't know. It's like Viking. I just want to say that everybody's got a little Viking in them. That's what I say.
I agree with that.
See, we already learned something.
Yep. She also taught us something about DC before we started recording in Viking ships. Hey, so real quick, my friend David Brown, when I went over to his house in high school, he told me that he had a big pot, and it was true, because there was a goose hanging upside down with his head cut off, with that, the blood was soaking, and they just let the blood curdle in this pot. And I was like, you just eat it like that, like yogurt? He's like, well, sometimes we drop like a bay leaf in there. So
Hey,
it's not straight blood. It's just, there's a bay leaf in there.
They were making blood pudding or something?
I guess. I mean, when you said blood pudding, it reminded me of that.
I
Shout out to
can't
David
even
Brown.
Imagine. Hi, David.
Hi, David. Yeah. So anyway, it's going to be a fun one. We review this this cool series, and please be sure to subscribe and like this video and give us some comments below and share this with your friends. And the reason I'm saying this is because if I don't, Michael yells at me.
So Ryan thinks it's a cool series. Okay, good to know for this first segment.
Yeah, he's already giving off vibes.
I'm just trying to get people to watch. That's all. So the first thing
What about
we do,
our cool series? Watch the first.
That's what I meant. So the first thing we do is actually my favorite thing. Actually, my favorite thing is when I hit stop record. But my second favorite thing is the part of the show that we call predictions. Michael and I have known each other for over 20 years, well over 20 years. And so we can pretty much predict what the other person thinks and eats. Michael.
Ryan eats a bar today, I bet. I'm guessing. Predicting.
2. And
wow.
Everybody at home, make your predictions now. Do you think I liked it? Do you think Michael liked it? Do you think Kelly liked it? Do you think Subrina liked it? Tabulate your votes right now. Here we go. Michael, I think that you did like it. I think it's right in between pretty much and very much. That's how I think you felt about it overall.
Okay.
Kelly, I think you liked it well beyond pretty much, and it was very, very much plus. Very much plus.
Okay.
Sabrina, I think you liked it pretty much minus. That's where I think you sit. Pretty much minus. What do you think, Michael?
Well, I'll tell you what I think, because I have some thoughts about thinking. And I think that thinking is pretty good. And I think that if I had to think about what you thought about this, that I think that you thought that this was pretty cool. You liked it, and I would put you on the plus side of liking it also.
Wow.
Kelly, I think she liked it very much. And Subrina, I think that she was put off by the murder.
They call it murder. Kelly?
Okay, that's what you think, huh?
Do you have any predictions, Kelly?
I mean, I think that Ryan did like it. I think that Michael, neutral. I'm going to go with the neutral. And I think that you didn't like it that much. Like I said, one too many heads in a basket.
Me, Subrina, you mean?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, one too many heads in the basket. Okay.
One too many heads in a basket.
Okay.
Well, Subrina.
So I think that Ryan loved this mess, Peter. I think he loved it. I think that Michael appreciated it. And I think he loved, the thought of it. But let's see if he's, going to tune in. I don't know. Now, Kelly, I don't know. Maybe because you got the thing on your forehead, I'm going to take a wild guess and say, so she's coming in here sporting Viking tattoos. Yes, I think you liked it. She's like ready. She's ready to start a fight. Yeah. I say Kelly is all in. She is all in.
Subrina for president. All right. Those are some solid predictions. My favorite part was when you said Kelly was ready for a fight. By the way, Michael, great predictions. Michael knows me well. These are plenty of bars at hand right here. At any point in time, I just reach and I eat. So,
husk fuel.
While everybody finishes their predictions, it's time for Michael to rise and shine and tell us what this series is actually about, or at least the first episode. Sometimes they tell you the first episode, sometimes they say the whole series.
Vikings transports us to the brutal and mysterious world of Ragnar Lothbrok, a Viking warrior and farmer who yearns to explore and raid the distant shores across the ocean. In this episode, Ragnar goes on a trip of initiation with his son. Meanwhile, he thinks he has finally found a way to sail ships to the west. However, his beliefs are seen as insane, so he chooses to go against the law.
I'm scared already.
We chilly.
Are you more scared of Kelly's tattoo on her head or Michael's Viking pirate?
I don't know. I feel like, hey, everybody in the BIPOC world, I'm surrounded up in here. What is going on? That's all right. I'm ready. I'm ready to deal with some Vikings. Come on. Let's talk about
it. Fighter.
So shield maiden.
Now we move forward and we start to reveal whether we did like it or we didn't, because we're going to talk about what we expected versus what we got. Obviously, sometimes you expect something and it turns out to be something very different, or you expected not to like something and you liked it. Michael, before you watched this episode, what did you expect?
So I will tell you guys that I had never seen this show before, but my wife had watched the entire thing and she is all about it. And she loves this show and she built it up a lot. So I was expecting a really cool show about Vikings.
Uh-oh, this is starting to set the table for disappointment here, doesn't it? You can hear it.
Well, you know.
Boy. Oh, boy.
You got somebody talking to you for 6 years about something, yeah.
Kelly, what did you expect before you watched it?
What I
If anything.
expect before, the only like expectation I thought was, I always get that Game of Thrones-esque, meets this time it's, Vikings. And I thought, well, we'll see what happens. Maybe some gore, some nudity, and maybe some smoking. Let's see.
Subrina, did you expect gore, nudity, and smoking as well?
I was hoping for it. Yes, I told you. I was afraid to see this show. I never watched it because I said, the last thing I want is to see some Vikings coming over, hitting the beach and heads coming off and crows picking at bodies and all kinds of stuff. And I asked my brother, who was an historian, I said, okay, I got to watch this show. Is there going to be any body parts coming off or anything else? He just goes, oh, not that much. I'm like, first thing that happens.
Yeah, it was the first thing.
But
So
that's okay. I was, that's what I expected. You asked me what I expected. I expected blood and gore and crows and ravens and it was all there. So
That's
good.
fairly accurate expectations. I'll tell you what I expected. I expected, a show kind of like Game of Thrones, but for Vikings. I feel like I had seen a couple episodes when it first came out way back in the day. What was that, like 2013 or 2011, something like that?
13.
So I didn't really remember
right.
any of it, but I do feel like I had seen some of it. Bless you.
Gesundheit.
I wish we knew how to say that in Scandinavian.
Yeah, exactly.
Gesundheit gebungen. Nibelungen. That's German.
Nibelungen.
Yeah.
Nibelungen.
But boy, I didn't really expect too much. I didn't really remember anything about it. That's really it. Game of Thrones, but with Vikings. I think that's pretty well known. I feel like it's pretty obvious that that's kind of going to be, the tone of the show. But that's what we expected.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Kenyon Rosenberg, what did you actually get upon watching it?
It was all right. I did a little research, and Game of Thrones came out in 2011. This came out in 2013. So
Right.
definitely, I felt that they were trying really hard to be Game of Thrones, but for the History Channel, Game of Thrones, but not like HBO pornography Game of Thrones, because this is on the History Channel, so there has to be like basic cable pornography. So we didn't actually, I don't even think we got any nudity in this first episode. I think it said like there was sex, but there was no nudity. So that was a little disappointing, but there was the gore. There was plenty of gore, but I felt that the gore was like trying too hard. Like I said, like trying to be too much like Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones is up here and they're super popular and they've got lots of gore and sex and nudity and all like that. And then these guys are like, well, it's gore, but it's historical gore. It's historical goreical.
It's historic Al Gore.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Sabrina kind of laughed and was annoyed by that, but Kelly just only looked annoyed. She was just like, ugh, why would you?
Historic Gore Vidal.
Okay. Frank Gore.
That'll get you some nudity now. That'll get you some stuff.
So Kelly, what did you actually get?
What did I actually got? I actually got not as many nipples. I'm gonna give you that one. And a lot more gore. Yep. Like I said, scene one, we're picking out, you're a little hungry. Great day for the crows. And I got a pleasant surprise. And man, after watching that episode, trust no one. That's what I learned from it.
Right. True
Kelly
Viking.
likes gore.
Yep.
Kelly likes Al Gore.
Frank
Al
Gore. Frank
Who doesn't
Gore.
like Al?
Al Gore.
Frank Gore is a football player, guys. Sorry, wrong.
Nobody
crowd.
knew that though.
People.
I didn't
There are
know.
people that know that.
No.
Among your
Well,
friends.
Subrina, what did you actually get? Did you get what you expected, or was it better? Was it worse? What'd you get?
What I really appreciated about it, and I am not a Game of Thrones fan because that was really just, I really have a problem with a whole lot of craziness and gore and sex and Game of Thrones. There was always somebody getting eaten by a dog or something. That was happening. I was like, Lord Jesus. But what I liked about this, what Michael touched on, is that it was the History Channel, and that it got a lot of what I had been taught about Vikings in college or whatever, and from my brother who's a historian. They got a lot of that right. And even though it was buried in this story of a family, I appreciated that this whole discussion about whether to go east or whether to go west was a big deal. And they put that in there. It wasn't just like, oh, we're just going. They don't tell you where to go. And there was a reason why, and why they were trying to do this. And I appreciated that they got a lot of it right, even the little historical things about it. And it is, this version that we're watching is the History Channel USA sanitized version. So if you want to see the rest of the version, there is a DVD that has all the sex and gore for you.
Oh boy.
Just so you know.
Kelly just mouthed, "What?"
There you go. You're looking for titties. If you're looking for titties and things, go there.
Wow. Who knew?
I'll have to let my wife know. Yeah.
There is an explicit USA DVD version where you get the whole cut. And then this is definitely the sanitized one. Oh my God.
Well, I'll tell you what I got besides Vikings whole cut was it actually kind of reminded me of slightly older storytelling. I know it's only 8 years ago, but I've noticed that right now shows seem like they're trying too hard to do too much, and they're trying to introduce too many characters and too many storylines. And this one had basically one story to follow. It wasn't like, here's the family story, and then here's this thing story, and you got to take all these notes to know what's going on, and then just hope that eventually all those stories come together and it all makes sense. But sometimes you're like, but I don't care if it makes sense. It's boring right now. So what I got was something that was pretty solid and easy to follow storytelling, which Mike knows I can appreciate, because when they get into complicated stories, Ryan starts to go like this. I can't keep up.
Am I entertained?
Right.
Right.
Because that's good writing. People think good writing is making it super complex, but it's not. It's making something that people are interested in watching. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Exactly.
What did you guys think of the actual storytelling and the writing of it all? Did you guys feel the same way, that like it was easy to follow? Did you feel like it was a little boring? I felt like they introduced just the right amount of characters, and I feel like they'll introduce more later, but I was happy with it. What did you guys think, Michael?
Yeah, I did think it was a little boring. I guess for me, it was like, I guess I was like too distracted by the fact that they're trying to shove all this gore in my face. They're trying to shove all this sex in my face. They're trying to shove all these crows in my face. The one thing I did think was kind of cool was that he kind of saw like this Gandalf wizard guy in between with all the crows. So that was a little bit of mystery, which will always grab my attention.
I called him Gandalf the Black because he was in black. He was just Gandalf. It wasn't Gandalf the Gray in the gray robes or Gandalf the White in the white robes. It was Gandalf the Black. And I thought they were buzzards, but then it turned out that they were crows.
They're ravens.
Right?
They're ravens.
Yeah.
They're ravens. Ravens. They're ravens.
Yeah.
Before the bird people
Right.
come after us.
So we already learned two things now from Subrina, or maybe even more. But
Odin is the raven god, so they are ravens.
Oh, that's a very good point.
I'm just
you make an
I'm just here to
excellent
tell
point
you.
there, yeah. So do you think that old guy was Odin then? The old
He seems to be, because the ravens belong to Odin, and Odin lost his eye so that he could gain knowledge. And the ravens are very symbolic, and the two ravens go back for centuries. I mean, and they are supposed to fly around the world in the morning, and they fly around the whole world, and they come back and they give Odin all the knowledge and information of what happened overnight. Wow. And so that's why you see the ravens are always there. And they also are the bird that take the slain warrior up to Valhalla. So you saw that happen in the first episode. So I like this. I was like, all right, y'all got your myth right. You got your history right, because hey, I'm from College of the Holy Cross. We study this stuff. I'm like, okay, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. So History Channel, sometimes they can get a little loose with the facts, but this was pretty good.
They did their research. Yeah, I thought it was Valkyries that took souls up to Valhalla, though, and I thought I saw
they're
the
already
Valkyries. There. Oh, the Valkyries are already in Valhalla.
Yeah, they're there.
Come on, Mike, idiot.
I like this.
Yeah,
talk.
well, maybe they got like a raven on their shoulder, but yeah, the raven. Yeah, you saw the raven. So they had the bird. Well, okay, I'm gonna stop because I could just tell you a lot of stuff about. You asked me about Vikings, I told you.
Well, ravens are actually like top 10 smartest animals too, surprisingly, because birds aren't usually known to be super smart, but these really are.
Yes, and Odin is the god of intellect.
Oh, full circle.
You are hitting on it, Brian. Go on, brother.
Gather around. It's story time with Subrina. She's teaching us things today.
Okay, because Sci-Fi Sisters love fantasy. We love myth. We love all this stuff. And just because we're the black girls, we learned the white stuff too. We learned all your stuff.
There hardly is any white stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Oh no. Come on. The Norse legends are just they're crazy because I have been to Iceland, I have been to Norway, and I've been on a Viking ship. So I get off on these Vikings, but y'all are crazy. Like Klingon crazy.
Yeah.
Kelly, what did you think of the writing? Were you a big fanatic or enthusiast of Viking and Norse mythology? Did you not know much? Did you feel like the writing was solid or accurate? What do you think?
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of the opposite of Subrina. I actually don't know barely anything about Viking stuff at all. So I liked it. I mean, I thought it was just a tad, just a little slow, but but barely, like just some of the conversations or whatever. But I really liked it, and I liked the whole teaching how it was back in the day, like 500 AD back in the day, and I thought the writing was pretty good. I wasn't in love, but at the same time, I give it a plus, 1+.
1+ out of.
No, like
how like
the plus, yeah.
There's the negative, and then the plus, and then the double plus, double negative, and then neutral. I'm at the 1+, so I liked it. Didn't love it, but I liked it.
Okay. Michael,
Brian?
any thoughts on the right? Oh, I thought, if we're talking about the writing specifically, I wasn't blown away by the writing, but I was happy that they weren't trying to do too much with the writing. Because again, I think that's something that people are really trying to do lately, is they're trying to just save the world and be the greatest thing ever. Just give me a good story that I can follow in an interesting setting with a cool new concept or cool new twist. Even if the show idea has been done before, you're going to have your own new fresh take or delivery on it. That's fine. We'll watch it. What I don't like is when people are just trying to throw everything at you. And this was fine. This was good all around. There was nothing that blew me away about the writing. But overall, it was a plus.
Ah, you're also a plus. All right.
Yeah.
One thing I did like, I'll tell you. I mean, instead of continuing to tell you all the things I didn't like about it, I'll tell you the one thing I did really enjoy was all the
one.
One thing he enjoyed.
One of the things that I enjoyed the mythology and the cool Gandalf Odin guy, but I also really enjoyed like all the cool scenery, all the green,
Yes.
the northern lights,
Mm.
the beautiful scenery of northern Europe. So
Me too. That's all over my notes. Is they kept going to places, and like even if just for a second you see the boat going by and you just like look up and there's just snowy mountain tops and all that. Oh, it was gorgeous. And Kelly's actually there now.
I know.
What I liked about it, which I thought was kind of unusual, is number one, anytime you have Gabriel Byrne in anything, I'm going to watch that. And he plays the Lord, right? At that, they had that court scene with the poor guy that was wanting the land, or he murdered somebody. And I thought it was very interesting that they seem to have a whole codified set of laws that, you should have stopped at the second house. No, I went all the way to the third house. I was like, what? Is this written down somewhere? But, they had this whole trial, even though, the Lord, you could already tell that this guy's got it in for him. Like, you're not getting out of here alive.
He was shady, yeah.
Yeah, he was shady. But I like this whole idea that there was this set of laws and that there was a court and that there was a process. You kind of see that this is Michael Hurst doing this. So he did the Tudors. And, that's a very British kind of thing where you always see these like court cases and they're all like, the king is going to, say what's going to happen to this guy. And it was very English looking to me, that scene. So I kind of said, oh, they're going to have a court case with the Vikings? Okay.
All I know is if you see anything or do anything bad, do not pass a second house.
Oh, yes. Like, what was that?
These
bizarre laws.
Otherwise, you're getting your little head chopped off and
with his head
and desecrated, and you're not going to Valhalla.
Yeah, a little harsh, brah. Like, what was that? But why didn't he want him to go into? Like, what was his problem?
That's what I liked about the storytelling, though. They were like, okay, there's a whole little situation that we're going to have to find out, because that's going to come back around to bite him in the butt. And then this whole thing with the wife and the brother, I was like, what's going on in the hut? What's going on in the hut? And I was just like, okay, what's up with the Norseman?
But was that really his brother, or did he just call him my
Rollo?
brother? Yeah.
Well, I think in the thing he's supposed to be his brother, right? He keeps calling the little boy his nephew or his uncle.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it was his little brother.
Was that the guy that finished the battle with him in the opening scene? Like they were
baby.
The two survivors just happened to be the two brothers.
Of course. And here's my head scratcher. Let me just borrow something. You're going to headbutt a guy wearing a helmet and you're going to be the one standing up? I roll that back. Did he just headbutt him? Yeah. And the poor guy, he had a helmet on and everything, and the Viking guy headbutted him, and the guy with the helmet went down. I said, oh, these are some fierce people over here. Yeah. Okay.
Those Vikings are some hard-headed dudes.
Hello.
There's some Latvians right now watching that going, bullshit.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Because that's the lands that were being taken over, Lithuania.
They went east. They went east across the Baltic to Latvia and
Estonia and Lithuania. And then they were talking about jumping into Russia eventually too. Little do they know Russia's pretty big.
No, the tribe of Vikings that went there were called the Rus.
The Ruskies.
The Rus, the R-U-S. And then the Rus, it becomes Russia.
I love that stuff.
Falling off the earth.
Mm-hmm.
I just the whole time they're like talking about how they want to go west and how he wants to go west, and they're like, there's gonna be riches over there. I thought, if I was them back then, I thought, what if we fall off?
No, that was truly it. I mean, you're talking, they didn't know. I mean, they could not fathom crossing the North Sea. I mean, there's like, if you look at it, it wasn't the Atlantic Ocean, of course, but as far as they were concerned, if you're in that kind of a ship, you think you're going to make it all the way across? And he said, like, how would we know which way we're going? And it was just, I thought that was all fascinating, that there's always this one guy that wants more. And even though Vikings were like, they were a strike force, like not all Norsemen are Vikings. Like everybody says, they're all Vikings. No, the Vikings were the guys that got in the boats and went over and they raided and pillaged. They did all that. They were the attack people. They like the SWAT guys. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else was back at home just waiting for them to bring the stuff back. But there's always this one guy that that wants more, and I found that very fascinating. This is the dramatization of this myth of Ragnar, who is like, he's mythic in Norse legend. I mean, he's a real myth, and Rollo is his brother, and he is the guy that actually he ends up taking over France. They come in and they take over France.
Whoa, easy.
And yeah, okay. Well, I mean, in history,
Well,
I mean,
you're right. It is easy
yeah.
to take over France. You're right.
Well, yeah, but I mean, these are true people.
Hmm.
These are real legends. Rollo
Yeah.
and Ragnar are true people. This is a myth that has come down for centuries in this Scandinavian land, and now this is a dramatization of it. So I appreciated that they really tried to do. They did well by them. I thought they really were
Right.
telling the story very well. Even the part where the women were weaving. If you've ever seen that
The
Scandinavian
blanket, yeah.
blankets, that weaving that she was doing, she was teaching the daughter. I was like, these people got it down. Like, all right.
It's the History Channel. They
Yeah.
have to at
Yes,
least
I
infuse some real history in there, or they lose their
I
name.
will watch it if it's on the History Channel. You know, HBO. You know, it's going to be like kind of loosey goosey, but
You know, now I assumed this was in Sweden because whenever I think of Vikings, I think specifically Sweden, even though it's really anywhere in Scandinavia, I guess. But you know, they mentioned what the Kattegat, right? And that's like the little sea that's in between Sweden and Denmark, right? So then I started thinking, well, maybe this takes place in Denmark. Do we know where it takes place? Does it take place in southern Sweden, or does it take place in
Could be
Denmark?
Norway.
I don't think
Well,
it can't really be
Ragnar is
Norway or
supposed to be-
Finland.
he's supposed to be Danish. But
Okay, so it is
I
Denmark
don't
then.
know.
Okay.
Well, I mean, from what I ever knew, it's the Danes who went west,
Yep.
and the Swedes went east.
Hmm.
Well, see,
I mean, that's what somebody told me. My historian brother gave me all this information, like 15 minutes before the show started. So my brother is a huge History Channel fan. He knows
I
all
love
this
it.
stuff. Yeah, he's a big historian. So he's always, he can't watch things because they're so wrong. But he did watch. He watched this. He said this was. He gave it a thumbs up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Historian approved.
Now,
So,
Kelly.
Yeah. Hi, Lloyd.
Now, Kelly, what did you like about this specifically? Were there certain aspects that jumped out to you? Was it the setting? Was it the dudes? Was it the battles?
I like the characters. I really liked all the characters, and I really like Ragnar's wife. She's a badass. Had one of the first scenes, but her by herself. There's some creepos coming in being like, "We're going to eat your food and rape you," and she's all like, not on my ground, and she just savagely just wails on them, and then they like run away, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do what she's doing. So I really liked her. And then I liked, even though it was like uber creepy, like the whole scene where like Ragnar's brother or whatever, Rollo, was all like, hey wife, like
So creepy.
like being a creep, but like it was good. Like she was like,
When I have sex with other women, I think of you.
man,
Don't we? I can't be the only one that has the feeling that those two are going to hook up at some point in this series.
I thought they already had.
Oh,
I got the impression that
yeah.
this was. I got the feeling that this was like she wasn't surprised by him coming that close to
Right.
her or anything. It was sort of like she's like, "Oh, here we go again. You're still coming at me with this stuff."
Yeah.
It could
I
be
don't
one of
know.
those. It could be one of those things where it's like they used to be an item, but then like the brother.
I thought you were dead, and I married your brother, and then you came back. Waiting for that.
Yeah.
my brother's girlfriend.
So, Kelly, your favorite character was what was her name? Lagertha. Yeah, Lagertha.
Lagertha. Whatever. She was
So-
cool. I liked her too. That's my favorite character too.
Yours too, huh? Mike,
Yeah,
did you have a
girlfriend.
favorite?
Not playing.
Oh yeah, Floki.
Yeah,
love
I
Floki.
knew you liked Floki the best.
I love he's kind of weird and off, and like he's the Kramer of this show, and that
Right.
I don't know, I liked him. He was a cool character. He could see into trees. You could see this has got two good boards in this tree.
I
And
loved
someone
it.
that nutty can also be like potentially the trickster of the show, like the guy that kind of disappears or backstabs them, or you don't really know whose side he's really on. Right now, he seems solidly on their side, but he also had a fun laugh. It kind of reminded me of that Star Wars character that Michael can do so well. You guys remember the little alien that sits on like Jabba's shoulder?
Salacious Crumb.
Yeah. How does he laugh
He
again,
sits.
Michael?
He sits at Jabba's tail.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to say that you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in a
Yeah,
minute.
probably. Yeah.
That was good.
I don't remember that, but okay.
I think
Ryan loves it. Ryan loves it when I do the voices and stuff like that. And he goes, I say, do that one voice, Mike.
Yeah, my favorite part of that is when I'm in mid-sentence, Mike's demeanor drops down like,
Oh,
like he's watching like this, and I go, "Hey, Mike, you know that?" And he's like, What am
Here
I?
it comes.
"What am I? Your entertainment of the day?" Yeah, do that thing that you do. I think I may have liked Floki the best too.
I do it for the people, really, not for you, Ryan. So.
I'm a people.
Are you though?
Thank
like
you,
Floki?
Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah. We understand. Yeah, I think so. I mean, Ragnar was cool, but he didn't really show much personality yet. He was kind of, which is kind of cool for the storytelling, because these are kind of like larger than life mythological kind of people. So that makes it interesting that they're like that. But I'm sure we'll get more character development from him in the later episodes. But the characters that were shown to be flawed from the get-go were Floki, were the Earl, but he was more than flawed. He was just basically bad. So maybe he's not flawed. Maybe he's just bad. And the son was very flawed because of that stupid haircut. So
I was afraid of what they were going to do with him when they took him to town. I was like, oh God, what's going to happen to him? You know, what's going to happen?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know. Thank God. That was all it was. I was like, oh, they're just going to give him a ring and he gets his first kiss.
He put a ring on it. So.
Can we talk about the princess lady or the Earl's wife, the Duchess or whatever she was, like fully sensually lip kiss? And we're not talking about like a smooch on the lips. Like it was like the lean in, the slow, the little line of spittle hanging. Like that was Kelly's face was great. What did you guys?
Well, I mean, that could have been like an initiation into manhood. They got
That's what it was, yeah.
And this is their first kiss from a real kiss from a real woman.
Symbolic, the queen.
Not kissing their hand or kissing a tree or something, whatever kids do to practice kissing before the real thing. But yeah, I think more symbolic and of their journey. They're crossing the threshold into manhood. So
she's like in your mind too.
Yeah. I definitely get it, and that was cool, and for sure it definitely worked. But I do feel I kind of feel for like the actress, where she's like, okay, so is this just kind of like a smooch? And the director's like, no, you have to really like
full on.
You have to. And she's like, does the 12-year-old actor know that you're telling me I have? I mean, like, there's a kid involved here. Oh yeah, they're fine with it.
They want to do it.
Yeah,
the kid is really 16.
Does his parents know? I mean,
I'm sure. Yeah, I think if it had been reversed, it might have been really creepy. But yeah.
But do we know if that was like historically correct, Subrina?
You got me there.
Obviously.
You got me there. I don't know about the queen smooching.
Queen smooch. What's the other part of an earl? Like what's his significant
I think it's
other?
just a lady.
Okay. Boring.
I don't know.
There's like Duke and Duchess, but what's Earl?
Earless? I don't know.
Sounds good. Right. Yeah, but he's a problem. He's already.
Yeah. The Earl of whatever dude here.
Duke.
The Earl of Duke.
There was
Duchess.
The Duke of Earl.
There was another favorite character. I may have even liked him more than Floki now that I think about it. What was his name? Svein. he was kind of like,
You're making that name up. That's not a real name.
Svein, Svein. He was like kind of like the right hand man of the Earl. You know, like the short
the
dude.
one with the scar.
Yeah, and the thing that he said that I really like, because at first he's kind of silly and he's making jokes, and you better throw some stuff, and we think he's kidding, but we find out that you actually must. It's the law that you must participate in throwing trash at some loser, right?
Norse law.
But he had this great part was when the Earl sends the house Carl, whatever a house Carl, I guess he does the house calls. He brought Ragnar over to join him for dinner and watch him eat. And then when Ragnar gets up to leave and Svein says, "Who told you could go?" And suddenly he had like a totally different demeanor. He wasn't like the goofy, like jester guy. He was like intimidating. And I really liked it. I thought whoever that actor was did a really great job. He may have been the more standout actor for me of
David
the bunch.
Pierce.
David Hyde Pierce?
No,
No.
just David Pierce. Well, yeah, I mean that guy. You could tell he's the guy that does the dirty work for the Earl.
Yeah, that's true. He was good.
He's the
pretty
sniveler.
I'd say he had an agenda. I'm curious to know where his story's gonna end up. Like, I don't know, because I think the Earl, is kind of sus, bad news bears a little bit, and all it's and all of a sudden, guess whose head's on the porch? Just saying. But I don't know. We'll see. How about that guy though? Who's the guy that they the Earl and the Earless or whatever, like tricked and was like, "Come to bed with me," and then he's like, "Okay," and then she's like, "Hell no, I'm a queen." Who is that guy?
Remember. Did you watch the
Did
second
you watch the first
episode?
episode? Did you go
No.
past the first one?
Wait, don't answer that question if you did, because we can't answer that. But I don't remember that character. I don't remember that scene.
I don't either.
I'm just gonna keep my mouth. Wait.
We're gonna put a pin in that until the end of this.
Yeah, because
podcast.
3 of us don't remember that scene.
Oh.
We're gonna put a pin in that for just a moment and get right back to it. I have a feeling. There's going to be more to the story in just a moment.
Okay.
Do you guys have any final thoughts on this episode? How do you feel about the acting? Overall,
I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I think they did a good job acting out the parts.
I thought the kid was really good.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
I thought he was really good.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to be grown. He was scared. He wanted to go, but then he was like, "No, I don't think so." He was right in there.
Well, and it's interesting because it's when did this show you said started in 2013? Probably 13. So now if you look at like pictures of him, I mean, I don't know how I've never seen the whole series or anything, but it's curious because the kid's like 12 now, but by the time it gets to like nowadays, the upcoming season, like he's a man.
He's the grown man. He's the star. Yeah.
I think he's single, if that's what you're asking.
I think he's still too young for me. I could just pull the queen.
It just
He's
made me
1,000 years older than you.
It just made me laugh when Kelly said, "Well, I didn't watch the whole series or whatever."
Yet.
So yeah, but it did seem like it set up a nice little story for that kid. And Subrina, I don't know if you were joking or serious when you said the actor's 16, because if that's the case, then yeah.
I was joking.
Okay, because he did seem like he was a little older than 12, which they're going to need to be if they're probably going to have him grow up pretty quickly in this world and maybe have to like help his mom defend the house or whatever while dad's away. There's certainly a lot there, and dad is telling the kid, "You need to watch over mom," and the kid's like, "Have you seen mom? She's fine." She's
Mom's
okay. She don't need me.
Well, the kid was saying, "What about you? You're the one that's supposed to look after us." And he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna go out on my own."
Yeah.
He's getting ready to go Viking. He knows he's gonna leave them, and he wants to make sure his son is prepared to take care of the house.
Gonna go Vike it up.
Yeah.
Favorite Viking? Herschel Walker, Randall Cunningham. What do you guys think?
Randall's my boy. Yeah, that's why I thought. See, that you called me because like the Minnesota Vikings and the Syfy Sisters have the same colors, kind of. So I said, oh, so that's
the
why
purple.
you called me. Gotta love the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, that's pretty cool. But you know, speaking of Syfy Sisters, Subrina, it is now time to talk about you and them. Wow, that was like
Pretty good.
Kelly and Mike, did you plan that?
No,
I mean-
They're pros. They're pros.
That was like
we just had like a little psychic connection moment right there. We're like, let's do this right now.
Vibes across the country.
Yeah.
simultaneous.
So the Syfy Sisters, we're a group that likes to talk about science fiction and fantasy from a Black woman's perspective. We promote Black writers, Black shows and things like that, but we want it to be inclusive. So what we're trying to do is to bring these works out from, you know, the back table in the bookstore or the BET channel and move it over so that, you know, just like I'm sitting here thoroughly enjoying this story of Vikings, that someone else could enjoy the story of the Dora Milaje. So, you know, that's what we're all about. We really are Star Trek driven and we all love our Star Trek, but we want to absolutely go and investigate and introduce people to what other sci-fi franchises and other things are doing, and you know, the Black people that are making those moves in those franchises. So it's really kind of fun. We've got a lot of fans, and you know, it's turning out to be a really fun group of people in our group. It's just like everybody's in there. I mean, we got everybody's in there. So come on and join the Syfy Sisters.
Your Facebook group is called The Mothership. Am I right?
The Mothership, baby. Yeah. Hey.
Now, if you're looking for that, if you're doing a search for it, here's a hint. Mother is spelled similarly to Sista. They don't like their ERs.
Nah.
It's spelled the way it sounds.
The Mothership comes from the Parliament Funkadelics and George Clinton. And so that was one of the very early Afrofuturistic bands. You know, we have like, you know, Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells way back in the day. Patti LaBelle was doing it, Sun Ra, but you know, we sort of focused on George Clinton and the Mothership. So that's if you like the Funkadelics, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I feel like you just recently, at least I only found out recently, that you guys have cast your net a little farther into fantasy, and I thought that was really interesting because I know it kind of started like Star Trek centric and then kind of branched out to more science fiction all around, and now including fantasy. That's it. You're covering all the good stuff now. That's everything.
Yeah, well, we've always been we're very you know, we're lit girls. We love to read our books, and we're very much into sci-fi fantasy. So we're doing a deep dive right now in our book club. We're going back to the earliest Black speculative fiction writers, you know, Samuel R. Delany, and we're going back, you know, we're starting with Octavia Butler, and we're bringing people, you know, along into this sort of like renaissance almost of, you know, women that are writing sci-fi right now, Black women, and it's really been fun and absolutely telling everybody like what's going on. I think we've got guys in our book club now, which is like so bizarre. So they're really getting, it's like, these are really good books. We're like, yeah, they are. So we're doing N.K. Jemisin, and then we're doing, you know, all the good stuff that's happening now. But Star Trek is our love, and that's our anchor. And so we're trying to show people how, you know, I think we just did like Doctor Who and Star Trek. Right. And so people were just kind of loving that because those are the two oldest franchises. And we just wanted to show that they do have some similarities. And then we branched out into, you know, Cinderella with Brandy and how that leads up to Michael Burnham. we were a little hard pressed to connect the dots to that, but we did connect it to the captain's ship. We were going to get there. So we like to, you know, we like to tell people about other science fiction and that Black people have been creating in it, moving it for a long time. It's you know, Uhura definitely is our goddess and she's our hero. That there's more. There's definitely more, and we want everybody to enjoy it and share it and see it like we do.
So Uhura's number one then. There are none higher, right? She's the one.
Well, she's passed the mantle on now to Captain Burnham. And, Nichelle Nichols actually did say that. She gave that to Sonequa Martin Green.
Mhm.
And so, Sonequa, if you're listening, and I know you are,
She is.
we love you, girl. We love you. Oh, my God. We love Sonequa Martin Green like it's something that you don't even understand. That is just a girl.
Right. Well, the entire Discovery cast, they have Fallingtower watch the first podcast night. Every Wednesday night, they gather up. Yeah, so they make sure, the producers know that Wednesdays can't go late. They have to get out early. So thanks, Sonequa.
Yeah.
I think she was the one that really started it for us.
Cool.
These are all lies. Like, nobody watches the show.
All of them?
I believe everything.
All of it?
Especially the lies.
Especially like, yeah.
Well, that's really
To
cool.
quote our favorite spy.
We're going to include all of the links in the description box below for Subrina Wood and the Syfy Sistas. They're so much fun. They're great. They're very knowledgeable, as you can see, as you've learned today. I've learned half a dozen things already, and I love that kind of stuff. And I didn't know there was more stuff to learn, but apparently
I learned more things than I ever even knew. So
Vikings are cool.
Yeah. And I think
Harsh,
Kelly
but
agrees
cool.
that Vikings are cool because
Vikings are way cool. My
Okay.
next one, I'm gonna do like a whole like face thing. I wanted to do like the hardcore one across, but I thought I think there's somebody. I knew there was another person gonna be on here, so I didn't want Sabrina to be like,
You know what? I see.
you good?
Who is
You
this
okay?
Kelly kid?
Oh.
I'm
No.
What
No,
is
Vikings
that
really. I mean,
tattoo? What is that
What?
tattoo anyway? Like,
It looks-
get up close.
I made it up.
Oh, it looks really cool.
yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, I've been really trying to do a lot more like LARPing stuff since I'm at my currently my living in the Midwest or staying in the Midwest for a short time. So I got to get creative out here, and there's a lot more like it's a lot
Trees.
prettier than the desert. So at least there's lots of photo ops. But now I got to get my going on the Pinterest, get my own education. But this one was kind of improv.
Looks great. Looks awesome. Looks like you have a medallion hanging there too.
Mhm.
Some kind of cool.
Well, and I got this is the band that I got when the Queen made out with me when I got initiated. So
What? One last thing. What's that necklace thing?
oh, this is the mark of Merlin.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's the mark of Merlin. It's whatever, and so yeah, it's just a little symbol. Just a
I
little.
was looking at that earlier. Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
You know, you have something cool when all three people all go, ooh.
Oh.
This guy's a hit. We're
Mm.
taking him everywhere. The Renaissance Fair is open in Iowa this year, so I will be Ren fairing it with.
We'll
this
be
band.
right there.
Virtual.
Michael, not to change the
Really?
subject, but Michael actually sewed my Renaissance Fair outfit together because I didn't have one back in the day. He's like, you don't have one. I'll make you one.
I had a lot more free time on my hands back then.
Yeah, looks really cool. I would go get it, but it's over there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now it's time for the final section of the show that when everybody like watches the show, they just kind of skip ahead to this part because the other part's just entertainment. It's just fun. But this is the karate chop that's Mike's showing you.
Bottom line.
Mhm.
Yeah, Kelly once said that we should call it the Terrible Twos, and she's probably right.
And I was like, nope, karate chop that idea. Bottom line it is.
I guess we're not doing it, Kelly.
Yeah, so this is the Terrible Twos. It's the
Okay.
final two questions
Bottom line.
of the show, and they're the most important, really. And they go a little something like this. Michael Kenyon Rosenberg. I know this is tough. He's pulling up his notes to answer it.
Present.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give the first episode of Vikings on History Channel or Hulu or apparently USA, entitled, I forgot what the title was. Oh, this is what we forgot. Rites of Passage. you guys, we totally forgot the people that suggested this.
Oh,
Big thank you to Bill Erickson out in Montana, the blue skies of Montana. Your boy, Subrina. I know you know Bill Erickson.
oh, my brother from another mother.
That's the one.
Hey,
And-
Dogheim. Okay.
And also Eve England, who ironically lives out in Wales.
My girl.
I was going to say that's Kelly's sister from Another Mister, but I guess Subrina gets to claim them both.
Another Mista.
But thank you very much to Eve and Bill, two of our favorite people. Great suggestion. And you're the reason that we are reviewing this. If you want us to review a show, just say WTF Snorks or WTF All in the Family or WTF What's Happening Now. There it goes.
Can I give you a suggestion right now?
You may.
I think you should watch Raised by Wolves next, because the Ragnar, Travis Mel, who's playing Ragnar in this one, left the show to do Raised by Wolves.
Oh, you want us to review it again?
Oh, you did it already? Oh my God.
No, that's why I was like,
myself?
no, this is a
I
great,
can't watch all of your shows.
this is a great suggestion because that shows that you're right. We should review that one. And you're right that we very much liked it. Darylyn joined us. Michael gave that one the highest score he's ever given any show. He gave it a 9.8.
Oh,
And I gave it
Okay.
an 8.7, and Darylyn gave it an 8.4. That's some of the highest marks we've ever given. Great
Oh,
show, great
wow.
suggestion.
Yeah.
I'm totally embarrassed.
No, you're fine.
We've had a lot of shows.
Well, yeah, it was a good show.
Mike
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah,
even
it was,
watched all the
okay.
shows.
No.
So here it is.
So,
Scale of
here
1
we
to
go.
10.
Okay.
Michael Kenyon
1 to
Rosenberg.
10.
Is this going to be another 9.8? What do you think? Scale of 1 to 10.
No, not 9.8,
Higher?
not 8.8,
Uh-oh.
not even 7.8,
10.8?
and not even a 6.8. I'm giving this one a 6.5.
Very specific.
6.5. I've gotten more specific than that before. I've gone to two decimal points before,
Yeah.
but
Don't
this-
tempt him,
this-
Frodo.
this one's a 6.5 for me. It's it didn't really blow me away. It didn't really do anything to like really capture my attention that much. It was funny while I was watching it too. After I'd watched it, my wife had said too that she wasn't blown away by the first episode either. It took her a couple episodes to get into it. So, but for me, it was a 6.5. It was all right. It's definitely on the plus side of 5. So, I mean, it's in my good graces, but it didn't really tickle me at all. So,
Did we all just picture tickling Michael?
no.
Or was that just me?
Yeah, probably just you.
Kelly, scale of 1 to 10. Don't listen to, he's always very negative and dour.
No, that's you are the one that's negative all the time.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad. That's true. What did you, scale of 1 to 10, Kelly? What do you give it? This first episode.
On a scale
Not
of
to be
1
confused with any other episodes that you may or may not have seen.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure the first episode, I thought, the first
Pretty
episode
sure.
on a scale of 1 to 10, I would definitely give it a probably a 7.7. C
Ah.
plus D-ish or whatever, like I said, a nice neutral going on the plus. I'm not like dying to watch it, but I wouldn't turn off the TV if it, apparently enough that I would keep going. So I guess I would say I'd say enough that I would mistakenly probably watch the next episode.
Nice.
So-
Hmm.
Basically,
Intriguing.
well, you know what? Let's give that one an 8.1 then. Because-
Oh,
yeah.
moving up
Wow.
to an 8.1. Let me change my notes on that because this is important to me.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, 8.1.
Ryan loves to document numbers. That's his
Ugh.
thing.
Love that stuff. Now, Subrina,
Yeah.
scale of 1 to 10. What would you give this first
Tell us
episode?
what this episode really episode really is here.
Well, judging it as just a TV, I'm not really into Vikings. So like I said, I had no desire really to see this at all. Sort of that whole Viking thing taking over everything, then becoming the colonizers of Europe, and then coming and getting us and taking us. And I'm like, I don't really need to see where this whole gene came from.
Right.
But I like that it was historically accurate to the degree that we can figure something out. I like the plotting of the story. I didn't mind the slowness. I kind of, I was just kind of like, okay, let's see what this family is going to do. And, based on, other than the fact that I'm just not into Vikings, I would watch the next one just to see the woman there, Lagertha, the Shield Maiden. Anytime you got some Shield Maidens or Amazons or, Dora Milaje, I'm your girl. Yeah, you got some female warriors. If she's going to suit up, I'm going to watch it. But if it's just the guys fighting, I could do without it.
Boys. Oh, wait a minute. So you got it. You
my
totally
number
tricked
is-
us. I was like, oh, what a great answer. I was like, wait a minute. We didn't even get a number.
6.5.
Whoa. Mirroring
Nice.
Michael. Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Score.
It was good. But it's not like not making me want to,
Yeah.
It was good.
So, I'm going to say this was a solid pilot. It didn't knock my furry boots off. It didn't shave the back of my head in some weird way. And it didn't even make me burn somebody's face with a sword that was in the fire. But it was easy enough to follow. It was interesting. I do like, the historical things, and this one seemed relatively accurate. I didn't know to what degree. So I like that. I thought the acting was good. I thought the setting was beautiful. I hadn't seen Viking shows before, so it was new to me. I give it a 7.5. Final answer.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm putting it in so I can't change it.
Yeah.
But here's the real question, guys. I mean, that's all.
Okay, this
the
is
rest-
what we've all been waiting for.
That's mostly all just fluff, to be honest. That previous question is the fluffer. The big question here is what, Kelly? Why did you laugh at that?
Never mind. I just love being on this show.
Oh, we love having you, by the way, Kelly. So the final question is, for the purposes of this podcast, we all had to watch the first episode of Vikings, called Rites of Passage, spelled R-I-T-E-S, by the way. But now that the podcast is over and you're free to move about the internet of your own volition, Michael Canyon Rosenberg, would you theoretically watch the second episode?
It's a no from me. That's the face my wife made too. I told her that I would not be interested in watching the next episode from this episode. I mean, would I? No, I might, just because my wife is going to twist my arm now. It's like, you've seen the first episode. It takes 2 or 3 episodes to get really good. But I would not. I might, but I would not.
Mm-hmm. Get it. Kelly, theoretically speaking, would you watch the second episode of your own volition?
Well, I feel that, as you know, I feel honestly that I would watch. Now, there's a lot of episodes. So I'm not sure how far I would get, but I would definitely watch the second episode to the point where I think I accidentally watched
Did.
Nice.
And yes, I'm gonna yes.
And the Earl-S tricked this guy in bed or something, right?
Yeah. It gets his the Earl's not right hand man or anything, not the one guy, but this other guy is all she looked at him, she I effed him, and he was like, do you want to F my wife? Because I saw you looking at her. Because if you want to, you can. So he's like, okay. And then they're all like, ah! anyways, you'll just have to watch episode 2 if you're interested. I don't think Michael will
If you're
ever find out.
interested. Well, Sabrina, knowing that
Yes.
juicy
Yes.
morsel, no, but based on the merits of the first episode, would you theoretically watch the second episode?
Yeah, I'm a no also, only because I really just, I get what's going to happen with the Vikings. I understand what's going to happen and I'm cool with it. I didn't watch Game of Thrones. So there you go. So there's your litmus test right there. I didn't even watch that one. So if you think I'm going to not watch Game of Thrones, don't be upset that I'm not going to watch the Vikings.
All right, so we should have Sabrina back for Game of Thrones, is what you're saying.
Oh, geez.
WTF Game of Thrones and WTF New Lord of the Rings series on Amazon when that comes out, by the way.
I don't think they have to
Yeah.
WTF that one. I think we'll be watching that one no matter what.
Do a party.
Oh.
Yep.
Did you do the series Rome? Did you do that one?
No, that's a great one.
All right, I'll
WTF
come back
Rome.
and watch. I'll do that. You do that. I'll be there.
All right. Just call my name. So let's
All
see.
right,
I'm gonna put
Ryan.
that down in the chat. I'm gonna put that down.
This is what
Please
we've
do.
been waiting for.
There's been better things than that. Yes, I would. It's done enough for me. I was just thinking, like, comparing it to the first episode of Game of Thrones, I really wasn't sold on the first episode of Game of Thrones. It really was a lot of exposition. It was a lot of doing too many things that I couldn't.
Hey,
really
we're not
keep up
reviewing
with.
that show right now.
Right. But it had a good twist at the end, and I want to talk about it a little bit more. And no, but it's only because they mentioned Game of Thrones, Mike. I'm sorry, I get sidetracked. The point is, this did enough for me, and the subject matter is interesting enough that I would theoretically, of my own volition, watch the second episode.
If my brother watches a second, I'm not gonna turn it off.
And then you'll let us know if it gets any better.
I'll let you know if my brother watches the second episode.
But that is an important distinction too. We're not asking if you, like I said, I might watch it just because my wife might pester me into watching it, but I would
thought
not
it was
of my
good.
own volition. So
Right. This is just like, would you? Like, based on, the merits. Like, there have been plenty of shows where I said, yes, I would, and I didn't watch the second. Almost every show I said I would watch the second. I have not watched the second.
yeah,
And
but most shows you've actually said you would not watch the second.
Right. And a couple I did. In fact,
Mhm.
one very recently before we go, Michael, and it's partially because you sold me on it. It was Disenchantment.
Ah,
I watched the second because it's fantasy and because I was like, I'm not really interested in whatever. But then the more we talked about it, the more I was like, you know what? It was okay. It was fine. It was enjoyable. Anyway, that was just like last week. So check it out.
2 weeks
Kelly.
ago, I think.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, I think you're right, Michael. 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Subrina, Kelly, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Nice to meet you, Kelly.
Nice to meet you. That was so fun. Chop someone's head off.
We're ready to go get to be Shield Maiden. Let's do it, girl. To turn this place out. We'll turn it out, Kelly.
Watch
What I'm
out,
trying
Ryan.
to
We better watch ourselves.
I always watch myself. I'm a narcissist.
Yeah.
This podcast had a lot of purples, blues, and greens.
Mm-hmm. This podcast was much like the Raven, very wise.
This podcast taught me a lot of things.
This podcast made me watch Viking gore and stuff, and I was scared, and they made me watch it. This podcast, I loved it.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm all right.
So if we do Game of Thrones, we're definitely calling on Subrina, or give us some WTF of like the most gory stuff in the comments below. Okay, you guys? Looking forward to it. So everybody just remember what Mr. Michael Kenyon Rosenberg always likes to say.
Don't forget to register to be an organ donor. You can do it when you're signing up to get a driver's license or register at the DMV. And do not forget to watch the first of Things.
That's musical.